part of the dough that you allow to ferment prior to you making the dough. And that gives you flavor and character and crispy crusts. It does an amazing job. And you can do it with any bread. So if you're making bread and you want to add to the flavor of that bread, take a portion of the flour, maybe 150, 200 grams, and the same thing with your water. Take it away from your original recipe, mix them together, and be careful when you do that. Remember to subtract that from the original recipe amount. Once you mix those together and you don't see any more flour, then stick it in, cover it, stick it in the refrigerator on the top shelf. That's the warmest place in your refrigerator. And you will use that in the morning to make your bread. So I'm about to make some sandwich bread, some white sandwich bread. And if you know, a slice of bread generally doesn't have a lot of flavor. And it gets the reputation of being the carrier of whatever you put on it. Our bread is the star of the show. And we want everything that you put on it just to be decoration. So if the bread, if it doesn't start with good bread, then it's never going to be great. So let's get a pre-ferment going for our white sandwich bread. Not everybody does this, but this is something important, I think. So I'm going to use 235 grams of flour, and that's out of our recipe amount. 235 grams. If you don't have a scale yet, I'm going to bug you until you get a scale, because it's always different for everybody else. There's different. You can weigh a cup of flour 3 times and it'll never be the same weight. That's why, if you want to see consistency, it's in this aspect of it. Right. 235 on the nose. And then I'm going to add my salt. Now, you know how I always say salt and yeast don't like each other, so they stay apart. I'm going to put 1 1/2 teaspoon of Mediterranean salt. Now listen, there's a difference in salts. This is a very fine salt, so I have to be careful not to over salt it, because if it's 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt is big crystals. They are big crystals, so they take up more room. So it takes more teaspoons to make up that, to make the weight equal. So we're going by weight here, not necessarily this measurement. But because most kitchen scales are not microgram scales, then it's difficult for them to read an amount lower than about 4 grams. It starts to get kind of tricky, 4 grams and below. So we go back and rely on our teaspoon method to make sure we've got what we need. So that's the last of the salt. And let's mix that together. Gosh, I'm making a mess. So now we've added our salt. I'm just going to mix this up a little bit by hand so that it becomes incorporated with the flour and we don't have to worry so much about the yeast coming in direct contact with it. So now we're going to we did the kosher salt, we did the flour. Let's do 1 gram of yeast. Hard to measure a gram of yeast if you don't have a microgram scale. So it's 1/2 teaspoon of instant yeast. Now, if you're using something other than instant yeast, I want to know why. Other active dry yeast, quick rise, don't ever use quick rise. All that other yeast, you have to dissolve it first and proof it in water. This is what professional bakers use. It's an SAF red yeast. Now, I use the gold a lot, but there's not, that's getting really subtle differences now. But if you're using an SAF yeast or something that's an instant yeast, you can just mix it right into your flour and not have to worry about proofing it and having a cup of warm water and, you know, just mix it straight in. Times they are changing. And, you know, instant yeast is, let's say it this way. Active dry yeast, baker's yeast, especially quick rise yeast, are designed to do exactly that. Now, the most important ingredient in your bread is thyme. Now, there's no substitute for thyme. No chemical, no additive, no extenders, no nothing. So those yeasts are designed to get your bread risen as fast as it can. The reason we're doing this pre-ferment today is to slow all of that down. You slow bread down, give it the time it needs to develop, and you'll end up with a taste unlike what you grew up with and you're used to, that you're buying in the store. This is what bread's supposed to be. Okay, so you got your yeast. I'm gonna stop preaching. Got my yeast in here, all mixed around. This is a small bowl, but it's the only one that's clean, to be honest with you. So then I'm gonna do 150 grams of cold water. Now, why cold water? Because of exactly what I just got done talking about. We want to give our bread time to do its thing, for the gluten to develop, for the flavors to be enhanced. Hot water would make this rise really fast. We're going to do this overnight or for 8 hours in the refrigerator, right? So because it's a pre-ferment, just like you do with a poolish. And if we're going to do that, why not start with cold water? Because we know it's going to be cold in there.